then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Happy Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here with the Icon Cup Series in the Daytona 240 here on SRM. In the booth tonight, I'm Shane Cochran as usual, and with me again is Alan Bergen. Alan, how you doing?
I am doing great, man. Look, I am so pumped here at Daytona. But hey, before we get into tonight's show, Shane, we got to take it, I got to throw it all the way back to the beginning of the season. Your debut night on here, and guess who goes to victory lane that night? Ryan Patty wins the opening race here to lock himself in the playoffs. But nonetheless, as we rewind the clock forward, 96 laps here at Daytona. Stages are going to be 30 and 60 laps here. That third stage being 36 laps, and there's, in the open sessions here in the open forum this week, it's going to be mayhem. It's going to be wild. Hang on to the seat of your pants as Shane and I bring you all the action from the green flag to the checker flag right here in Sim Racing Media.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I mean, there's always I'm not sure I know anyone other than Kyle Larson that doesn't look forward to racing at Daytona. We've still got about 5 minutes here in the warm-up session. You mentioned it, Alan. We are dead center in round one of the playoffs. Richmond last week kicked off in the River City Richmond 250. Pole sitter Jacob Smith got caught up in an early tussle with Braxton Deweese, ended Deweese's night, and sent Jacob to the rear. He eventually battled back to finish third, but not what he was looking for. Nathan Finnegan led 57 laps and won stage one, but couldn't quite get around Brian Smith there at the end when it mattered most. Smith spent stage 1 driving from the back as he had wrecked in qualifying, but the 14 cautions in the race made it easy for him to gain that track position back early. And then Brian made the most of them. So he went on to lead 125 laps, winning stage 2 and the race. Other drivers up front include Ryan Patty, who you just mentioned, Daytona's winner earlier in the season. He led 38 laps, but had a spin out of the lead into the front stretch grass in the final stage. He came back to gain 12 positions before it was over and finished 6th, along with DeWeese. Jonathan Duncan and Adam Ball also received heavy damage in cautions and did not have the beginning of the playoffs they were looking for. So we're going to take a look at our point standings right now. Brian Smith has won, so he is guaranteed into the round of 12. Then behind him, it's Nathan Finnegan and Ryan Patty, then Jacob Smith, Cody Neal, Bentley Glazer, John McNeil, and Chuck Van Schaik. Those are the top 8. And then Patrick Colby, Kyle Purcell, Michael Taylor, and Kyle Diaz. Those are the first 4 into the next round at the moment. And then Adam Ball, Jonathan Duncan, Braxton DeWeese, and Zach Lockett, the first 4 out. But looking at these points, I mean, basically all the way up to Van Schaik is very within reach, right? That's a stage win. You could jump you from the cutoff line to 8th place. So there's some drivers looking for a win. I would think Zach Lockett, I think maybe he missed the race last week. That might be why he is so far out of it in the points. But if he's here tonight, he is going to need a win to get caught up here in round 1. Don't you think there, Alan?
Yeah, absolutely here. I am super excited. I'm hoping that Ryan Patty can, repeat history here and put himself in victory lane. No pressure, Ryan, but hey, look, taking a look here at the weather, though. It's 82 degrees in the stands. It's a humid evening here in Daytona Beach, in sunny Daytona Beach, Florida, with a 9-mile-an-hour wind. Now, that could be a crosswind coming down the back straightaway or a headwind. We don't know. We're not on the virtual racetrack. We're in the virtual Tony Trapazzo Memorial Studio. But nonetheless, these drivers are going to have a time here tonight getting this track figured out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Daytona's just a different animal than so many other tracks. Certainly different than Richmond last week. I think teammates are going to be more important here tonight, especially if you've got teammates that aren't in the playoffs. They might be a little more willing to push you all the way to the checkered flag rather than just to the white flag and then battling it out. We'll have to keep an eye on teammates here all night. Like we said, it's just going to be intense. If you watch the real life Cup race last night, you know the intensity is just ramping up at this part of the season, and especially at Daytona. And like you said, we're here for 96 laps, stages at 30 and 60. But that fuel window is going to be just short of those stage lengths unless they catch enough cautions, unless they save enough fuel by lifting in the pack. So I'm going to expect pit stops here in each of the first stages. So there's also going to be some opportunities to flip the stage. And early in the year, I'm trying to remember who it was. I believe the leader spun onto pit road back in February and shook up that Daytona race from the first pit stop. So I think that's going to be my key to the race tonight. Can you get on pit road safely and quickly without losing the pack or picking up a penalty?
And that's the thing, too, is you got to time those pit stops. If you can't come in with your team, at least come in with your manufacturer. It's going to be, the word I like to use, cooperation. You're going to be running with guys you don't normally run with. Who am I going to draft draft best with? Who am I going to, I'm looking up and down the field, and one guy that you would love to have in your mirror at any of these tracks is Nathan Finnegan, Brian Smith. The list goes on and on. These guys in this list of cars and drivers, all could win here tonight. But nonetheless, we're watching that round, that cutoff line here, as we have 2 races here. And after tonight, we have 1 race left to get in that that round of 12. So it's anybody's game. It's a wild card. I call it an equalizer.
Yeah, I think the other thing it is popular. You usually see a bigger field at Daytona than anywhere else, and I think that's pretty true tonight. 34 drivers showing up on the grid. And that just makes it, I think it makes it harder to get to the front, but it makes it even more kind of, if you decide to pull out and make a pass, you better make it and get back in line, because going to the back means 34 positions tonight.
Well, you know, if I'm in the field tonight, I'm going to drop it to the back and avoid all the chaos and stuff as we get ready to get down to our grid here.
Yeah, as we check in on the field, looks like the 48 of John McNeil is who's going to start on pole tonight. We've got just 2 more drivers waiting to join the field, and then we will run you through our starting grid here in the Daytona 240 with the Icon Cup Series. And it looks like those 2 cars are actually not going to make the start. So 32 cars on track as we get going. And let's start that front row. As we said, John McNeil and Charlie Widener are going to be starting up front. Then it's Adam Ball and Zachary King in row 2. Row 3 is Jacob Gladelich and Braxton Deweese. Braxton looking to rebound from last week's issues at Richmond. Kevin Gunther and Evan Patinko in row 4. Mike Taylor and Jeff Dillon row 5. Then Chuck Van Schaik and Mike Grenell in row 6. And there he is, Brian Smith and Cody Neal, row 7. Finnegan Myers and Nathan Finnegan in row 8. And then Kyle Purcell and Patrick Colby in row 9. And rounding out the top 20, going to be Nathan Brzezowski and Anthony Tizio. There, and it's Ryan Patty, defending champ at Daytona, and Ethan Van Colley in row 11. Then Jonathan Duncan and Robert Bloom, row 12. Kyle Gilbert and Bethia going to start row 13. Bentley Glazer and Jacob Smith there, 27th and 28th. Jake Champion and Charles Woods in row 15. Then Cody Eldred and Sean Purcell. And as we mentioned, there was 2 more drivers. Looks like Camburn has joined the field. So Brad Delph is still in the pits, and Finnegan Myers still in the pits. So Purcell and Camburn are the final row here tonight. And they are coming out of turn 4. We're getting ready to go racing here at the World Center of Motorsports in Daytona. And the throttles are down. They are racing here at Daytona. John McNeil, Charlie Widener up front. Both lines getting a great start. Probably going to take them about a lap and a half to get all the way up to that full speed here at, I guess, what we call a drafting track, formerly known as a restrictor plate track.
It's a super speedway nonetheless. Here we go. We already got Brian Smith. He's going to go ahead and pull below the yellow line. He's going to drop back to the back of the field and avoid all the mayhem and carnage. As he almost had some mayhem right there as he tried to jump back in line.
Yeah, and they're already 3 wide at the front. Cody Neal leading that 3rd lane. Yeah, I got to think Brian's jumping out of line there strategically, knowing he's got a win in the bank. Doesn't need to risk anything early here tonight. But yeah, as we saw, sometimes pulling out of line and dropping to the back is not a safe endeavor. As now Widener gets left out to dry on the 3rd lane. No help at all.
That's pretty bad right there. Ooh, we got a couple cars in the wall. And that's the thing. Ooh, we got one car slapping the wall there. You need that car to be in one piece. You need to have that help there. As with this new tire model, this is what I saw last night or Friday night in the NIS series. It's one line around the bottom. Everybody's going to be fighting to get to the inside line. This tire model is not like the outside line with the drafting help.
And it does look like Finnegan Myers has joined the race from the pits. Right now, out there, I think he is on the lead lap, but he's lost the pack. But so has Brian Smith. I know he wanted to go to the back, but I don't know if he meant to go that far. Smith
Like
back
you
there,
said.
then behind him, Finnegan Myers. Sean Purcell also off, not necessarily off pace, but out of the pack. He had to serve a black flag right at the beginning of the race.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure if that was an admin issued penalty. We'll have to check the Discord, see if there was a penalty there for the 74 to start this one, but John McNeil continues to lead after starting on the pole. Doing a great job, kind of holding the field there behind him.
No one really stepped out of line. It's too early to do anything egregious. You don't really want to give your spot on the inside. Oh, here we go. The 38 car going to try to form up a third line. We got cars bobbing and weaving all over the racetrack there. And that is Charles Van Schaik, CVS as we call him, looking for a hole to get into, but nonetheless, the 38 car, he's falling faster than a rock on a mountainside.
Yeah, I mean, usually we'd start a race and we'd be talking about how you're going to bide your time, have a lot of patience, find your way to the front later after you meet a partner, maybe find a teammate. Not tonight. These drivers are racing right away. Nathan Finnegan up 14 positions. And you see him pushing Adam Ball to the lead.
Well, here's the thing, though, too, Shane. It's 96 laps. Time is not of the essence. It's not if you're running a full-length Daytona 500. You're going basically 240 miles here tonight. You don't have a lot of time. You got to find that partner in this square dance. Because if not, then all the partners are going to be gone, and you're going to be left out of the square.
Yeah, looking here at our biggest gainers so far tonight, Bethia has gained 24 positions and is riding in third. Brzezowski 14, Jacob Smith 14, and Finnegan 12. And there goes Deweese to the lead.
I don't think the lead is where you want to be at. You do want to be towards the front. For most of this race, if I'm going to be up front, I want to ride in that, the third car in a line, or maybe even the sixth car back, close enough to the front where I can get there, but yet not so close where if I jump out to a huge lead, it's not going to be so costly.
I think I like the lead personally. I feel like the guy, when I'm driving next to you, and Alan, who likes being in second or third and is thinking about making a move, that's where I feel like I might get clipped in a fender, someone getting aggressive. And as long as Joey Logano or Brad Kozlowski aren't pushing me, I want to be in the lead, because we've seen them wreck out of the league more times than I can remember. And now
Cody Neal.
Oh, go ahead.
Cody Neal trying to form up that outside line, that third lane. Here comes, I believe, Nathan Finnegan.
The 20
Nathan
and 77 are pushing hard.
I don't think I like that.
Well, they've gained 25 and 17 positions between the two of them. So they know a little something about how to get to the front, but can they stay there? So we see the 20 throw a block on the outside. That's Zachary King in the 47.
Here's the other variable in this whole night here. As you get close to these cars, if you're in line there, you got to know when to back off, because if you're just glued like Sugarland, stuck like glue, you're going to be blowing that motor sky high. And it's going to go kapooey.
Speaking of kapooey, we have our SRM colleague Shane Lake in the chat tonight. He seems to remember a time he ran up front with you at a plate race and got wrecked.
Oh boy, the old PTSD. I may or may not look. It got him a job at SRM. I don't know what his complaint is.
And the 20 throwing block after block. He's just jumping back and forth between these lines. It's keeping him in the lead, but you can only do that so many times before the 77 or the 47 is going to say, I've had enough. And there, King pulls out front for now, but doesn't have a tight pusher there behind him. Tizio not able to get to his bumper, but the 77 of Brzezowski might be the best pusher on track tonight. And they come up on the lap car of Purcell. A little dangerous there. Oh, and there's a wreck. Car's off.
Oh, no.
First caution of the night. Looks like Nathan Finnegan, Zachary King, Anthony Tizio all involved in this one. Why don't we take a look back how that one went down. We're going to check on Nathan Finnegan here first. Looks like the wreck's already started by then, so we're going to back it up and ride along. And again, they catch the 74 car, and there's not really anything else for him to do. You know, maybe on the backstretch he can pull down to the apron, but on the front stretch through the tri-oval, you've just got to hold your line, and he's doing a great job of that. But still, it looks like King and Ball get together right there as they're kind of reacting to the 74. Then Tizio, Finnegan, Gunther, all getting caught up in contact. The 14, that's Gladelich. Looks like that 55 made it through. Quite a ride for some of these drivers. The Camburn with damage. He's kind of stuck there on the apron. Why don't we go back and ride along with him? Camburn was kind of middle of the pack towards the back. You can see there's nowhere to go. Doing a pretty good job there. Just hit a bump down off the track. And then almost gets stranded here.
Oh, no.
That's got to be the worst luck you can have. I'm glad he got it figured out.
I mean, he did get through it, though.
Yeah, let's go back and ride with Nathan Finnegan through this one again. One more time.
Oh, no.
And I'm not seeing a lot of hard impacts. I think Gunther might have been the only car that really had heavy contact. I can find him here in the driver list. We'll go back and ride along with him.
I mean, there's no meatballs in the
So pretty much everybody coming to pit road here. Some for repairs, some for fuel. Remember, stage 1 is at lap 30. So topping off on fuel here will get you to the end of stage 1. Right now, Nathan Brzezowski is the leader. We'll take a look at those pit stops. Looks like the majority of drivers going fuel only or 2 tires. Again, this graphic is based on pit time, so almost everybody's pit time is 6 or 7 seconds.
It has to be fuel.
Probably mostly fuel there. Update the logic there, be a little stricter about what 2 tires are. So pretty much everybody just taking fuel. Can't imagine tires have been used up too much yet here tonight.
Unless you went spinning.
Now it looks like Camburn actually didn't pit, but he was so far behind the field after getting stuck on the apron there, he didn't come all the way to the front by not pitting. He's sitting in 8th spot there for the 88.
While we're riding around under this caution, Shane, I want to do something.
Let's do it.
We're going to talk to February's winner, Ryan Patty. If you don't mind.
Let's do it.
Ryan, it's Alan and Shane up in the SRM booth. You got a copy? He may not have his ears on.
Hey there,
There
sorry.
he is.
Doing some admin work here. What's up?
You're good. Hey, look, we just wanted to touch base with you here tonight. You know, you won here in February. What's it going to take to have history repeat itself and put that number 30 car back in victory lane and sweep the races here at Daytona?
Oh, more of the same. You know, these races always come down to teammates or friends, as you call them on the track here. So really just trying to build trust, as always. Push some cars to the front, you know, be pushed, be smooth, and you know, not make any sudden moves that makes people uncomfortable. And that's really all it comes down to, is just you know, letting the cars around you know that you're not going to do anything crazy. And you know, the more cars that feel comfortable pushing you or being pushed by you, the better chance you have to make your way to the front.
Good stuff, man. Well, real quickly, I'm sure you're one to green right now, but really, really quickly, does the car feel different to you now than it did back in February?
No, not really. I think we haven't had a long run yet, but I think the tire wear may be more of a factor now than before. So we'll see once we get done with the first stage here. We'll take a look at what the tire wear numbers look like, and that may affect our strategy when it comes down to late race pit stops.
All right, man. Well, once again, good luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you on the other side.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Alan. Thank you.
And that was the driver out of CCR ECR, Ryan Petty. Shane, as we get ready to come back to Green Flag Racing here, there you heard it first. You know, a different strategy for the fall than it was in the spring. But here we go. iRacing.com pace car pulls off on the pit road. Brzezowski and Basia on the button, and we are back to Green Flag Racing.
Now I'm curious to see how aggressive this 20 car stays. We saw him get the lead and then do a lot of blocking to stay there.
You know, and here's the thing. He's not racing for points. He's just, you know, he's here to collect checkered flags. Braxton DeWeese right behind him, sucked up. Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet are top three right now. Look at Cody Neal being aggressive. Forming up that middle line, just shoving John McNeil out of the way. And here comes Jacob Smith.
I did just take a look back at the race day penalties. That 74 car did have a drive-through penalty from some intentional contact last week at Richmond. But I think
16.
that early caution gave him the lucky dog. So he's back in 30th position. He's on the lead lap.
And here you go, the Buddy Motorsports teammates getting hooked up there on the outside. Not enough. We are 3 by 3. Goodyear to Goodyear to Goodyear. Coming down the back straightaway.
You can see it there. 3 of those Buddy Motorsports drivers in the top 10. Trying to find each other so they can work together, but Mike Taylor is down on the low line and his teammates are up there in the high line by themselves.
Got to imagine when, you know, because here we are, lap 16. We're 15 laps away from the first stage break of the night. And Cody Neal and Jacob Smith just bleeding positions. And they come down the back straightaway. Ryan Petty out to the front, though.
Getting pushed by the 8. Those two look to be pretty good partners right now, but we've seen the 77 push the 20 for the last 10 laps or so and do a great job of it.
And it's so hard to stay squared up to the car in front of you. That, you know, these guys, that's how turbulent the air is. Michael Taylor, though, he's on the bottom. As those top 3 cars there, oh boy. I mean, you got to be trying to get off the high line here sooner or later. There's nothing doing up there.
Yeah, it looks like Deweese jumped out there. Drifted back, but that is going to kind of build up that third lane. If they can get a few more volunteers, they might have something to go with. Couple new paint schemes here tonight. Always love to see that at Daytona. I believe EVC has got a new scheme on tonight. Bro Dude.
What's Bro Dude?
That is it's an inside reference to the show Letterkenny out of Ontario. Yeah. Bro Dude, the energy drink of Letterkenny, and I think every other reference to the show would be inappropriate for this show. So, moving on. And here comes DeWeese on the outside. Big run for that third lane. Got some help from Finnegan Myers in the 12 and his teammate, or sorry, not his teammate, the Buddy Motorsports driver, Jacob Smith.
We love it when the big dog, Shane Lake, checks in on the YouTube.com live chat. He said the tires will go full stage here, no problem. You know, I would suspect that if you're going to take any kind of tires here at any point in the stage, you'd probably save them for this stage, maybe take 2, and then you're good.
Yeah, unless I'm already towards the back and I'm not worried about it, I'll go ahead and snag that fresh set.
Yeah, I would imagine the strategy is going to be all over the place here, especially if we stay green the rest of the stage here. Looks like Nathan Brzezowski looks to be in line here. We got 11 laps to go here in stage number 1. Kyle Gilbert, the driver out of Paducah, Kentucky, though, he's up 23 spots, and so far tonight, Bentley Glazer is your biggest mover of the race.
Yeah, a lot of movers and shakers here. I mean, those 3 drivers who have made the most gains are all in the top 5. They've been aggressive early, and it has paid off.
One driver I want to note, that 87 car of Bentley Glazer, who's fighting for his playoff life here. And he's got to do everything he can to stay up front and get max out those points. You know, because next week, I believe there's three races around.
They've calmed down just a little bit here at the front, and they got that 20 car out of the lead, and everybody on the inside lane kind of content to stay there right now.
Taking a look at next week's race here, we race on a Monday night, September 1st, 220 laps at Darlington. So, you know, tonight is a wild card. Darlington, the Lady in Black will probably eat you up and spit you out. But nonetheless, we go 220 laps at Darlington. So that would be your last chance to get into the round of 8. Or round of 12. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Darlington is a very technical track, and if you don't like it, you're not going to like it in the playoffs either. So I would imagine most drivers, if they don't feel confident at Darlington, they're thinking this is their last chance to get in.
I'm one of those drivers, when I see Darlington come up on the schedule, it's just a let's get through it kind of track for me. You know, I look, me racing Darlington's like a dumpster fire.
Ooh, some close blocks there. I believe it was Duncan came across the nose of the 30 very closely. I don't think Ryan appreciated that. He's going to get around that 13 now as quick as he can. And in doing so, he almost threw a bad block on the 01.
And you sort of settled down.
It ebbs and flows, my friend. This has been some amazing racing. Like I said earlier, a lot of times at this point in the race, we'd just kind of be making up things to talk about while everyone was being patient, but this field tonight came to race.
Oh, yeah, there's more action than a Waffle House at 3 a.m.
Now, there is a pack separate from the front of some drivers who are playing it safe, having some patience. Robert Bloom leading them, Brian Smith in there, and Zach King and Camburn. I believe the 47 and 88 might not have been with the pack on that restart, and so they found some friends to draft with. as they were making some extended repairs. We look at our wrench wranglers on the night: Finnegan Myers, Adam Ball, and Charlie Woods, all with more than a minute of repairs here tonight. But Myers is running 14th, so he's making the most of it.
Yeah, this pack right here is, we got, 6 laps to go here in stage number 1 to the end of the stage. Brzezowski continues to lead. That 227 car, Kyle Gilbert out of Paducah, Kentucky. What a drive he's having here tonight. He's been solid up there, and just follow Nathan. Do what you got to do. Don't do anything egregious. Get to the end of the stage. Get those all-important stage points.
Now, why don't we go ahead and jump on board with the 20. That's Bethia. We've seen him make a charge over and over, and right now he's got that outside lane coming forward, trying to catch that inside lane led by Nathan Brzezowski. And you can see Cody Neal in his mirror coming in the 3rd lane. Great shot here at Daytona. The sunset in your eyes as you try to get to the front. You can see how aggressive the side drafting is, as well as Bethia is right on top of Patty and Glazer. Now losing a little bit of momentum. And Cody Neal is all alone on the 3rd lane now and drifting back. Now, you mentioned, Alan, that this is the last Daytona race was my debut with Icon. I actually went back and listened to a little bit of that, and it's funny to think back when I didn't recognize people's paint schemes and know their names and things. So, been a great season so far with Icon. We love partnering with them here with Sim Racing Media. Glad to be a part of it. And we're having fun here in the playoffs too.
Yeah, definitely. When we took Icon on, this past off season, I was like, this is gonna be a match made in heaven. And here we are. No signs to slow it down. This is a league that I hope we can broadcast for years and years to come. As Bethia takes the lead right then and there. And here comes CVS. Charles Van Schaik comes onto the back straightaway on the outside line, and he has the 8 car Braxton DeWeese right behind him, just pushing the ever daylights out of that number 20 or that number 23 car.
Yeah, everybody racing hard here. There's now 2 laps left in stage 1. 20 out front, 23 giving him a push, as now the outside lane has lost all their momentum. 85 is drifting back. Van Schaik taking a peek down low, but the 20 gonna hug the yellow line. A lap and a half remain here in the first stage at Daytona. Oh, a little bit of contact there, and Kyle Gilbert is going around.
That's the stage. We have the big one.
Driver still getting collected. Patinko, EVC.
Oh, no.
And we saw that started with Gilbert.
Tough break.
Rylong, he's on the bottom lane, riding behind Brzezowski and ahead of Glazer.
He's got to step out. Right. There he steps. He steps out. Realizes that he just made the wrong move.
Yeah, and it was kind of a weird accordion effect there. Like the outside lane backed up and then picked up momentum and just caught Gilbert with a big push right in the middle of the turn, the worst place to have it.
Oh, man.
And
His night is done.
That's going to give the 20 car the stage win.
Yeah, Bethia going to be your stage 1 winner here. Charles Van Schaik, Jonathan Duncan, Nathan Brzezowski, Bentley Glazer, Kyle Purcell, though, Ryan Patty, Jake Champion, Brexton Luis, Mike Grinnell going to be your top 10 here, receiving stage points.
And with that, while drivers are hitting pit road, we're going to have our first commercial break of the night and be right back here with the... All right, and welcome back here with Sim Racing Media for the Icon Cup Series. We just wrapped up Stage 1. Tanner Bethia taking Stage 1 as we had a big wreck there. Contact between Gilbert and Patty. Starting it off in Turn 4 with a lap remaining. We've got a couple drivers on pit road making some serious repairs. Kyle Gilbert catching the worst of it. He is still in there getting his car worked on as Bethia brings us back to the green flag. And we are racing again here at Daytona. About a third of the race wrapped up as we start stage 2.
Stage 2 underway. Here comes Tanner Bethia getting out to an early lead. Here comes Anthony Tizio, though. He is making moves here. And don't look out, kids, but Jake Champion to the outside.
Yeah, that 15 car, we've seen him kind of bounce around the top 10. He was in that earlier accident. Here he is riding P2.
Yeah, caught up in that earlier accident here. Jake Champion going to take the lead on the outside with some help from his friends as we are under the lights here. Oh, there's slicing and dicing.
Ooh, and the 20 almost comes across the nose there of, I believe, Zachary King. Thinks better of it, stays to the outside. Now Tizio going to jump to the outside along Jacob Smith. See if anybody will come with him.
No, but we almost had another incident there.
Yeah, the 20 and the 47 are not, they're not working well together is how I would put it.
Playing nice. $34 laps in. We're working lap 35 right now. We are getting the lap number 60 here to round out stage number 2. Jake Champion continues to lead. Finnegan Myers, though, right there in second position in that 12 car.
Again, the 47 and the 20 are drafting together, but it just looks squirrely.
Yeah, those cars don't look happy.
Coming out of the stage break, it seems like the majority of the field is kind of happy to ride and take a breath here. This top 5, top 10. They're trying to get to the front.
There's some drivers that are just not content with riding in the back.
We have had a slew of drivers leading the lap, though. Brzezowski with the most, 13 so far, then Bethia with 11. And then Champion, McNeil, DeWeese, Patty, Van Schaik, Widener, and Ball all taking their turn at the front. Right now,
36 laps.
Oh, go ahead.
As I say, 36 laps in the history books. And so far, it's all Jake Champion all day long.
Yeah, Champion up 28 positions from the start. Looking good out front. That royal purple 27. We jump on board here with Jake and take a look back at Finnegan Myers in second. And it looks like just about everybody's single file now.
Stage 2 a lot calmer than stage 1. I'll tell you that one right now.
We currently have 31 drivers still on track. 30 of them on the lead lap. Evan Patinko is the only driver one lap down, sitting in the lucky dog position. Just 3 cars trying to make it out of that single file line. They're led by Zachary King in the 47.
Definitely, we are 21 laps away, or 22 laps away, I should say, from the end of stage 2. So far, we've had our fair share of cautions, but I mean, we've only been racing for about a half hour race time, a little over. So nonetheless, here we go, 21 laps to go for stage number 2. And here comes that 30 car of Ryan Patty, who's back there mired in that 9th position. As the lights are going to go down and the action is going to heat up.
Yeah, you know what I think is happening here, Alan? We talked about fuel earlier in the race. With all of these drivers coming down on lap 30 and about half of the field topping off on lap 31, I think they are saving fuel. Everybody's just riding in line, trying to hit that number if this stays green so that they can make it to the end of stage 2.
You're not wrong. I fully support that theory. And I would be remiss to say if we have 20 laps to go. I agree with you. I think they're going to ride around for a while and try to be there at the end of the stage.
That 20 is out of line, though. He's not saving. Trying to get something done. All the while, that 78 car just riding along in 23rd. Got that win in his pocket.
Exactly. I love the strategies. The strategies are actually all over the place.
That 20 still doing everything he can to side draft this top 5. Try and gain positions. He's gonna
Cal Gilbert gonna win the race of the beer stand tonight.
I think it was actually, well, again, we've been through this before. We need to make an official ruling. If you don't start the race, are you the first to the beer stand, or do you have to start and get out?
You have to start and then get out.
All right. Now the 47 and 20 going to jump out together. They're now alongside second position, but I don't think they're going to reach Jake Champion by themselves. They're going to need a little more help.
Whoa, hello. Hey, hi. Yeah, we're actually looking for sponsors for the race to the beer stand. So if you own a microbrewery or know of a bar, hit us up here on Sim Racing Media. Let us know that you're one of the sponsors of the race to the beer stand. We'll get your information down. It's a race you don't want to win, but someone's got to win it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know of at least one bar that sponsors that 8 car. Jane's on Main. Might have to have a chat with them. Braxton riding along back in 28th. Caught up in some of that action earlier as we just see a huge checkup. No contact. That was a little awkward there, kind of back in the pack. Up front, it's the same story. Jake Champion being pushed by Finnegan Myers down on the inside as the 20 and the 47 try to find a way around the top 3. And that checkup has broken up the field. as now the 55 is leading the second pack. I'm going to actually jump back a lap or two and see if we can find where this gap came from. This is about 2 laps ago. Lap 42. We're riding along with the 55. He is going to become the leader of this second pack. Somewhere around the point where we saw that swerve out of the 8 car. Well, I'm not seeing it, Alan, but we knew something happened back there. But it continues to elude us as that gap to the leaders continues to grow. We're back live now. It's here on lap 46. And now there are 3 distinct packs as the top 6 or 7 are all chasing Jake Champion. Then the second pack is now the 55, 14, and 74. But they're all by themselves. And that's a little further back to the 30 and the 87. And I've just got to imagine that as you're trying to save fuel here, you lift a little too much, you lose the draft on the guy in front of you, and that's why we're getting broken up here. I think this backpack are the drivers that are really invested in making it on fuel. Their lap times are now 2 seconds off the leaders. So we're going to keep an eye on pit road as we are now just over 10 laps from the end of the stage.
Stage 2, Lake Halmer stage and stage 1. I think we got all them butterflies out. Here we are with 2, like you said, 2 distinct packs. One pack chasing Jake Champion. The other pack, well, chasing this pack.
Yeah, and I've just got to think the 20 spent so much time there on the outside lane in dirty air, or in clean air, sorry, but slowing him down. There's no way he's going to make it on fuel based on how aggressively everyone in the back of the pack is saving to make sure they do.
I mean, you also
there's some
have
contact right there.
row.
20 and the 15 get together.
No harm, no foul. We're going to stay green now.
It looks like Charlie Woods trying so hard not to lose touch with this pack. And they're still side-by-side racing up here, so I've got to think they're not trying to make it on fuel. At least not that 47.
I don't think he is too. Charlie Weiner, it's so disheartening when you see the pack that you're running with is starting to get smaller and smaller and smaller as that gap starts to open up just a little bit wider this time by.
And that pack, led by Ryan Patty, the fuel-saving pack, they are now another second slower per lap. Make that 5 seconds slower per lap. They really, really are saving. This is going to be interesting. 10 laps to go here in stage 2. Jake Champion has now led more laps than anyone else tonight, with 17. And here they come. They are on pit road, Alan. Ryan Patty. Again, now.
Oh, we got trouble. We got trouble.
Camburn with hard contact. He is stopped at the entrance. We're still green, though, as he jumps to the pits.
Patinko also involved.
That was a wild entrance to pit road. As they're coming down. Big checkup. I don't think the 88 was ready for that. I think Shane was in the chat earlier talking about how you've got to crank up the front brake bias to get on pit road. You don't think about it here running at Daytona. You don't think about brake bias all that much. That was heavy contact.
And you don't think about brakes until you need them.
Right along with Patinko in the 81. Yeah, nowhere for him to go. I'm surprised we didn't catch a caution. So, the pack that was saving fuel, they came down pit road first. That's the exact opposite of what I was expecting, Alan. And here come some of the leaders as well. Champion, Jacob Smith, Tizio, King.
Black. We may have a speeding penalty.
I don't see one. Think we're clean for now. So that's going to leave the 55, the 14, and the 74 as your top three. Everyone else around them is a lap down. That group of cars on the outside led by Nathan Finnegan, they're a lap down, unlapping themselves right now. Or trying to. And then the 55, 14, and 74 are still on the lead lap. There's still a handful of cars at the front that haven't pitted, about 10 of them. Still staying out. A little bit of chaos here as we go through a green flag pit cycle. Patrick Colby now coming down pit lane. He's in fourth. We got drivers all over the track as this pit strategy is playing out. Again, the 55 is the leader. He has not been to pit road. Very hectic. With 6 laps remaining in stage 2. Of the drivers that have pitted, Jacob Smith is leading those as we see the 55 going to make it to pit road now. And he picks up the speeding penalty on entry. Bad fortune there for the 55. And I think the 14 was trying to get to pit road and didn't get there. More chaos. Still no caution.
Abort.
Let's jump back and see what happened to the 14. Oh, you know what? I think the 74 was expecting him to come down pit road. And he didn't. Then the 74 had to bail. The 14 goes through the grass. How are we still... Let's watch that again. How are we still green? Big damage to that 14. So now Sean Purcell is your leader. He picked up damage. He hasn't been to pit road in 25 laps. He's tucked in here behind the 11. That's Robert Bloon. The 11 is in 27th place, still on the lead lap by staying on the nose of the 74. I wonder if these two are saying, hey, let's work together. You let me draft and save fuel, and I'll let you stay on the lead lap. Just an incredible turn of events there. And as I said, Jacob Smith, he's the first car that's pitted. But he's all the way back in 8th position. About a third of a lap behind our leader. But he is on the move. Those low-line cars there of Purcell and Duncan, they have not pitted either, so they are trying to save fuel to make it. That's why Smith and Myers were able to blow by them. But it's a full 17 seconds between Sean Purcell and the 74 trying to stretch this out, and Jacob Smith, the first car on fresh tires, or sorry, on a fresh tank of fuel. I think Barty might have been the first one of the beer stand tonight, Alan, to not throw any caution flags there. And here comes Purcell. He's not going to make it to the end of the stage. He's going to hit pit road. That will actually leave the 14 in the lead, as he is not pitted yet either, but he picked up damage there a couple laps ago. And here he comes. And as he does, you can see Jacob Smith and Finnegan Myers come by. They are your new leaders, making it through the chaos. Fuel only. Coming out the other side. And then they have about a 3-second gap back to the 47, who is the third car at the moment. Yeah, we said it at the beginning of the race. The key was going to be, can you get on pit road safely, and can you do it quickly?
Efficiency is the key.
And some drivers couldn't do either.
I know I have a hard time getting on and off pit road. Here we are at lap number 59, 2 laps to go in the stage.
So this is 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and a few other drivers here trying to get to the end. Do want to mention Duncan in the 13, Van Schaik in the 23, and McNeil in the 48. They're in this pack right here. They have not pitted.
No.
They're going to have to go 30 laps to make it to the end. And it's looking possible. We'll see if they dive to pit road here. This is going to be their last chance, as I imagine pit road's going to close here in a minute. They stay out, so they have made their bed. They are going to get a lot of track position by doing this. McNeil was the pole sitter, but I believe all three of these drivers were in some of those early accidents one way or another, using some strategy to get track position back. But it's Jacob Smith and Finnegan Myers who got on and off pit road the best. Now I just wonder if that 12 is going to take a peek around the 4 here to grab the stage win. They have such a huge lead back to 3rd. There's really no risk to doing it. Looks like he's just going to be a good drafting partner for now. And Jacob Smith takes stage 2. And there you have it. With that, we are going to take our next commercial break of the night and be back for the final stage restart here as we start stage 3 in the Daytona 240 at the Icon Cup Series. Welcome back to Daytona with the Icon Cup Series on SRM. We just saw Jacob Smith and Finnegan Myers outdo the field, getting on pit road through a green flag cycle that had, as Alan would say, more action than a Waffle House at 3 a.m. We saw drivers through the grass, drivers into the wall, drivers into each other. No caution. And as this cycles out, most drivers did actually take tires here at the end of the stage break, with the exception of a few people. So it looks like Zachary King went with 2 tires, and that has given him the lead as he came in third. Jacob Smith and Finnegan Myers both taking 4. Athea and Purcell taking fuel only. And then pretty much tires on back from there. So that's going to set us up here for a 34-lap run back to the checkered flag. Based on that, we know no one can make it on fuel. We talked about the fuel window tonight, between 25 and 28, and that seems to be exactly what drivers were able to do here. And the sun has gone down, the temps are dropping. Gonna give these cars ever so slightly more grip here, so I'm not gonna expect anybody to take tires from here on out. It's gonna be about fuel strategy and setting yourself up with some track position to do something at the end. I think if we end up going through another green flag pit cycle like that, we are going to get just as spread out. And as a driver, that can be really frustrating. You feel like you get on pit road just right, you do it with your teammates, you don't lose the draft, and you come out and they're 7 seconds ahead of you somehow. But that pace car back on pit road. Going to be Zachary King and Jacob Smith up front as King gets them started. Jacob Smith already down to the inside line. That's going to leave the 20 all alone there at the front. A couple car lengths back to Jake Champion on the outside. And we just had a 4th caution of the night. Looks like Nathan Finnegan is off and in the grass. We're going to take a look back and see what happened. Well, he's already wrecked there. Let us back it up and see what happened. It's right on the restart. The outside lane has a bit of a checkup. And then just a ridiculous spin for the 6. That
had to be a hardware failure.
That's what I was going to say. That is not something... That wasn't net code. That wasn't somebody getting in the back of you. That was just bad. Why don't we jump on board and see how hard his wrist broke as that wheel went to the left. God. Actually, the wheel didn't move. What do you make of that, Alan?
Definitely hardware failure.
I mean, it looks like everything's working for him, though. It's just the rear of the car just gave up and came around on him. I want to see that one more time. We're now looking back. It was right as he grabbed the shift. I don't know if that was a hardware failure. He might have had just a little bit too much horsepower in that 6 car tonight as he grabbed that next gear and just lost the rear tires. That was wild. So that's going to be our 4th caution of the night. Now with 32 laps remaining, I imagine there's going to be somebody who hits pit road and tries to do something. And there it is. Looks like Eldred, Tizio, a 78. They're all going to hit pit road here.
Well, you got to remember, Brian Smith started, he took the strategy route and he went to avoid all the calamity to the back of the field. So here he is running, and I don't know, 11th is where he was when he came in pit road.
And they brought a whole bunch of friends with them. The top 10 staying out, everybody else on the lead lap coming down pit road. I think I saw Shane Lake there in the stands here in turn 1.
Did you see the big dog, Shane Lake?
I think so.
Well, he is all the way up in Maine. Want to give a shout out to the big dog for helping you out last Wednesday night on Outlaw Sim Series, and I know that was a great race to watch and blown away by the new graphics. He says he was blown away by the new graphics. In his words, they were awesome. So
yeah, we're trying to bring some innovation to the broadcast here. Maybe something new to look at. We talked about Sean Purcell earlier, and we talked about the graphics. So let's take a look. He has had quite the journey. Started the race with a drive-through penalty from Richmond. Then caught the lucky dog after going a lap down, serving that very early. And then has just been kind of fighting his way through the middle of the pack. And then, just as those green flag cycles happened, he went to the front. Then came in for his stop, dropped back to about where he was. Then took fuel only to gain some positions, and he's got himself running in the top 4. Some great strategy play here by the 74. Nobody wants to be a lap down on lap 2, that's for sure.
no, but I mean it's still a long race though. And at this point, you're just counting the cautions and saying, okay, I just need 2 cautions to get caught up. 1 caution to get on the lap, the other caution to get caught back up.
We've got a lot of drivers hitting pit road, topping off on fuel. There are still 30 laps remaining. We have not seen anyone make it 30 laps. But I think they're going to try. They look back at some of the stints here. I think the longest I saw anybody go was 26. That was Dylan. And Purcell, we saw him stay out extra long after that contact with the 14. So I don't think anybody can make it from here. But it never hurts to top off.
No, it never hurts to top off.
So we're getting side by side as they enter turns 3 and 4. Going to be coming back to the green. It'll be 29 laps to go at the line. Finnegan Myers on the outside lane. Zachary King on the inside. Here from Meatball Motorsports. King has led 5 laps tonight. He's looking to add to that total. Sun is still setting. It's going to be King taking us back to green flag racing. Under the lights. And we're off at Daytona. Long tail of cars there in the back. Pit road was closed with 1 to go, so all of those drivers lining up single file after getting and technically receiving an EOL penalty. That's an end of line for entering a closed pit road, but they think it's worth it to top off as Finnegan Myers takes the lead away from the 47.
And here comes Zachary King. He's running the outside line there.
I think it's Purcell on the outside.
Purcell, yeah, you're right. You're
getting pushed by Patty.
Ryan Patty's trying to get history to repeat itself here tonight at Daytona.
This pack is just a little haphazard right now. The front drivers are racing hard. Everybody else trying to figure out what they want to do as we see a little bit of contact there between the 20 and the 48. McNeil is not going to let Bethia in line. He is trying to go forward now to the bumper of King. And now the 20's in front of them both. A lot of contact for mid-corner there between the 47 and 20. We've been talking about these two all night long. they have just been a little heavy-handed with the bumper since the race started, really.
Absolutely there. As the sun's going down, the action's getting hot.
And Bethia to the lead, but King jumps to the outside. Sparks are flying.
We're working lap 70 or 96. And here comes Zachary King. John McNeil, the pole sitter. Where did he come from?
And don't look now, but Brian King has joined the chat. He's been biding his time all night. It's time to go. He's looking for another win to boost his playoff run. And he's going to take the lead right there. Leading his first lap of the night.
He's got Ryan Patty right along with him. And for based on what we saw in February, Ryan Patty's a driver that you definitely want behind you.
I just took a look at Smith's night. He's just been playing it safe back around 20th. Then as this final stage started, he moved up to the top 10. And then in about 2 laps, shot his way to the lead. Impressive run by the 78. He gets a hefty push from the 47 to stay out front. But McNeil gonna jump to the outside. No help. 5 car lengths back to Ryan Patty. And Smith gonna block both lanes.
Brian Smith's making that car 5 wide. Here comes Zachary King on the outside. He's got no help. He's got to run though. John McNeil doing everything he can to get that car up to the back of that 47 car. And he's gonna make it happen. Brian Smith through drag racing down the back straightaway. We're on board with Ryan Patty out of Boston, Massachusetts. With 25 laps to go. Oh, it's getting good now, ladies and gentlemen.
Some incredible racing here at Daytona. Icon showing us how it can be done clean and fast. Brian Smith out front. Part-time driver Tanner Bethia in second. Another part-time driver of Finnegan Myers in third. Everyone in the top 3 has nothing to lose, as Smith already has a victory from last week in Richmond, guaranteeing he's in the next round of the playoffs.
He's looking to pad to that lead, though. Here comes Zachary King trying to get that outside line to get organized. This is taxing on these drivers, but it's fun for us to watch. And here comes the outside line, getting that momentum. And this is where we're going to start playing tug of war at 180 miles an hour. Or 194 miles an hour. Ryan Patty's got to be careful, though. He is stuck to that number 47 car, Zachary King. He's stuck like glue.
Ooh, a little bit of contact there between the 4 and the 30. Door slamming. And here comes Champion and Purcell. As that inside lane gets a huge run. King and Patty are drifting back.
And right now, if you're Ryan Patty, the sands of the hourglass are starting to run out. It's almost going to be desperation time. I don't think it's go time yet. I think, with 22 laps to go, I think he's still trying to buy just a little bit of time left.
Yeah,
he's right there in striking distance.
The only thing I would be worried about right now is making sure I am in that inside lane so that when it's time to come to pit road, I have a clean shot. We saw the 74 and the 14 get together as they disagreed over the pit lap last time around. You don't want to be that driver on the outside that can't get there when you need to.
And that's what scares Shane Cochran from running with your boy here.
They come around. It's going to be 20 laps to go at the line. Everyone on pretty much the same fuel strategy. I don't think anyone can make it from here. I know that Smith can't.
No, Smith cannot. Brian Smith being out front being a fuel pig.
Or sorry, I'm reading this backwards. Actually, I think Smith might be... Well, he's going to have to go 31 laps. I don't think you're going to do that, especially running up front.
When do you pull the trigger? When do you pull the proverbial parachute and come down pit road?
I'm waiting till the last minute. And I want to be on that inside lane about 10th or 12th or so, watching the leaders because I want to pit with them. Take a look at Buddy Motorsports. They got Brian and Jacob in the top 5. Taylor and Neil, though, not having the night they were looking for, at least not so far.
If I am Jacob Smith, I am radioed up to Brian saying, "You make the call. We'll come when you come down." Because right now he's the leader. It's the only way he can do this and make it work. They have to be on the same page when they make this fuel stop. They're not taking tires. They're taking fuel.
Yeah, taking a look at some of the other teams here. Chicagoland Racing with Sean and Kyle Purcell. They got one driver in the top 10, one driver back in 18th. Then ECR. Got Ryan Patty, their only car in the top 10 right now, but Gunther knocking on the door. Adam Ball riding in the back. I think he had some damage from earlier. Then Eldred and Finnegan. Finnegan just having that weird restart. He is all the way back in 27th. I don't think he is going to make his way back to the front. And Adrenaline Motorsports having an up and down night. At one point, Brzezowski had led more laps than anyone else. Patinko getting caught up in that accident on pit road, but John McNeil, the pole sitter, he's still in the game.
Just like EA Sports in the game.
And Bentley Glazer and Charles Woods, old guys rule racing. They're still in position to get something done as well. Tizio and Vancali, they're going to need to get some track position to be in a better spot to make moves before this one's over. Dragonfly Racing, another group not having the luck tonight. Caught up in some accidents, but Patrick Colby is 16th. I think those are all of our multi-car teams here in the race tonight. And it's still Brian Smith up front with the 20 and the 12 behind him. Again, these three drivers all have nothing to lose as the part-timers aren't worried about points. And Brian Smith is locked into the next round. Ooh, a little bit of smoke as somebody would tag the wall, but we stay straight and green flag.
We only got 15 circuits left to go here. 15 more circuits around Daytona International.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the first cars hitting pit road in about 5 or 6 laps if they run it out.
I would imagine as soon as the 78 car dips, the 4 car is going to dip down pit road also.
Big bumps and pushes there between the 2012 and 78, right through that front stretch.
Just 14 laps to go here at Daytona. Brian Smith continues to lead, do Brian Smith type things. Zachary King, though, he's running. He's so far just hanging on to the top 5 with 14 laps to go. What's 3 wide? We got a lot of good battles back here in the back. We're not missing anything up in the front.
Everybody trying to figure out what's the lane that I can get in to just go straight to the front. Again, pits should be coming somewhere in the next 3 or 4 laps for the majority of the front. I say the top 10 all need to come pretty soon. Then there's a handful of drivers, including the 78, that can go about 5 laps longer. But if you're Brian Smith, do you want to take that chance and possibly lose touch with all of those guys in the front pack around you?
You have to come down when the rest of the field comes down. There's no way around it. You have to.
Well, it's going to be a bit of a challenge as the leader, though, because the drivers back in the pack could decide to pull onto pit road when it's too late for you to make it.
As long as Brian and Jacob can work together to get on pit road at the same time, they'll at least have a drafting partner. You want a pretty good sized pack when you do this. But nonetheless, with 12 laps to go, Brian Smith has definitely got to be thinking about it.
$11 laps to go. I think these drivers, I keep saying it, they've got to pit somewhere around 2 laps from now at the latest.
I mean, unless our fuel strategy is all wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, going on what we've seen, no one's gone longer than 26 laps. That would be a lap and a half past where we are right now for most of the top 10. There's going to be a couple drivers peeling off in the back. EVC and Widener. They're the first ones to pull the trigger. But just 2 cars, that is not going to be a healthy draft.
So we're about to see a land rush here.
Again, if you're the 78, you can go another 4 or 5 laps, but do you want to?
I don't think that's wise.
We saw Jacob Smith and Finnegan Myers win this chess game last time around. Looks like
some more drivers.
Glazer. Oh, and that's even worse. Just 1 driver. No one to draft with. Hopefully he can catch up with Widener and Vancali as he comes out of the pits. Just 9 laps to go in the race. Oh, and it looks like Widener and Vancali didn't agree on pit strategy. One of them taking tires, one of them not. So they aren't even drafting together. And this pack is already starting to catch the 85. Oh, and Gunther goes around.
Gunther goes around.
Still green, though. Everyone else coming to pit road. clean, no speeding penalties. That leaves Ryan Patty out front as your leader. With all the names you see on screen now on pit road: Tizio, Gunther, Woods, Champion, Bethia, Jacob Smith, Brian Smith, Myers, Sean Purcell, Zachary King, and Jonathan Duncan.
Does Ryan Patty know something that we don't?
We saw him seemingly stretching his fuel there in that first run earlier today of green flag pit stops, and then opting to be the first of the groups to come to pit road anyway. And here they come. Everyone coming now. Look at this. 15 cars all getting on pit road. Everyone makes it at speed, no flags. Back on track, Brian Smith and Finnegan Myers. And now Jacob Smith. We mentioned the 12 and the 4. They were the kings of green flag pit stops last time around. Now Brian Smith going to join them, and Jake Champion is the 4th car in this pack. We'll see how they merge back together. There's everybody else coming off pit road. I think these 4 are going to have a huge lead, Alan.
Absolutely. It's Kyle Purcell in the 0-1 car meet. This could be the race for the lead right here. Brian Smith.
Can
Finnegan Myers.
Can Patty grab that draft before they get away?
Maybe.
Now 7/10 behind Champion. I think this pack that's behind these leaders is going to have to really work together if they want to try and catch these 4. If they start battling amongst themselves, it's just going to slow them down. Now a second gap between these 2 packs.
Six laps left remaining. Time, the sands of the hourglass are running out for the 30 car and Ryan Patty. They're in line now. They're in line. They're organized.
Oh.
15 cars are better than 4.
And here they come. Now 7/10 of a gap between the packs.
5 laps to go. There's the eyeball test.
They are on the move. What are they going to do when they catch them?
Go to the outside, I hope.
Well, if you're Jake Champion or Jacob Smith, are you going to let them do that, or are you going to try to block? There goes Patty. To the outside. Not everyone goes with him, though.
Here he comes. He's got momentum, though.
Big pushes.
Eldred's with him now. Eldred in the 32 car is with him.
Four laps to go here at Daytona. 10
Whoa,
miles.
look at that block.
Champion deciding to take the outside lane. That's going to let Kyle Purcell into 4th place on the inside lane.
I don't know. I don't like this. I feel like it's coming.
Again, the 12 car is part-time. He has nothing to lose. Jacob Smith, the 4. He's in pretty good position in the playoff points, but would love to guarantee this ride into the next round. Kyle Purcell in the 0-1, though. He is close to the cut line. He needs a good finish or a win to really feel comfortable here in the first round of the playoffs with Icon Cup Series. And there he goes to the outside.
I just, with 3 laps to go, it's gonna pop off.
Patrick Colby's in the same boat. He came in just 1 point ahead of Purcell, and both of them just 8 points ahead of the cut line.
We're coming down the back straightaway. They're getting the slices. That's what we're loving. Touching and squeezing right now. Oh, hang on.
3 left to go. Coming back, 2 to go at the line. Buddy Motorsport front row here. Kyle Purcell in the second row of the outside. Finnegan Myers in the second row inside. Then Colby and Champion. King in that 20 car we've seen be aggressive all day long.
Bragging rights at the Thanksgiving dinner table is coming down to this.
Every car pushing hard. Patty gets loose, saves it. They're 3-ish wide as the white flag comes out. McNeil in the third lane, but is he too far back to get a run with no help? Jacob Smith to the lead. But that inside lane is packed tight. They're going to get a run, Alan.
That inside line is packed tight. Jacob Smith trying to outdo Brian Smith.
There goes Patty, split in the middle.
He's got to run. We got a whole lot of blocking going on.
There they go. Smith to the bottom, ahead of his teammate. Patty and Purcell in the middle lane.
There's not enough there. They're wrecking.
Oh, Jacob Smith throws a block.
They're wrecking. It's going to be Brian Smith.
Brian Smith stealing the hope away from every other driver to guarantee their spot in the next round of the playoffs.
Finnegan Myers, Kyle Purcell is on your podium. Patrick Colby up 14 spots. Ryan Patty going to be scored at 8th.
What a finish, Alan. I thought Jacob had it in the bag. He decided to go up high and try to stop a run on the high side, and I don't think anybody was willing to lift.
I think Brian Smith was going to hold that steering wheel and hold that gas to the floor until he saw either Jesus or the checkered flag.
And we're going to stick on the 78 to see his post-race celebration, and then we'll take a quick look back at that finish one more time. As Jacob Smith goes from the lead to 5th, still not a bad night for the 4.
Here he is burning it down.
Yeah, we thought it was the Johnsonville paint scheme, but he's showing us that this Michigan Humane Society can win just as many races. Brian Smith in the 78 picks up his 2nd win in a row to start off the playoffs. First Richmond, now Daytona. Finnegan Myers almost gets there. And Kyle Purcell and Patrick Colby, we were talking about how they were both only 8 or 9 points ahead of the cut line coming into this one. They needed a great finish or a win. They got the great finish. With that, go back and see where this wreck gets started. Oh, and it's right there. Let's back it up and watch it a little slower. Jacob Smith is coming from the bottom to the top to stop a run by the the 01 car getting pushed by Ryan Patty. And he gets there just about an inch too late. Off the nose of Purcell goes Jacob Smith. And then Patty and Colby get together. That grabs Myers. And no one is going to lift here coming to the flag. You just got to stay in it and get what you can. Patty goes around. Bethia goes around. King, Champion. Looks like Myers, Brian Smith, and Purcell, they made it through the cleanest, and they are on the podium with us tonight. How about that?
What a race. What a race.
That was pretty exciting. Why don't we go back and watch it just one more time on board with Ryan Patty. Find him here. There he is. Coming to the checker. Pushing as hard as he can. You see Jacob come across there, and then Ryan's just bouncing around. He's going to end the night in 8th position. Coming across sideways and backwards. That's going to do it for Ryan Patty. But it's Brian Smith, our winner. In 3rd place, though, the 01 of Kyle Purcell. We're going to get him in the booth for you, Alan.
Kyle Purcell is down and Shane up in the booth. How's it going?
It's going all right.
Hey, look, man, go for the win. You finished there on the podium. Take us through that last lap and how chaotic it was.
Well, I'd been pushing Jacob, and I'm like, I really hope he clears down because I'm about to, my engine's about to explode. And he did, and I was getting a great push from Patty, but unfortunately the 4 just came up a little bit too late out of 4, so we weren't able to be square on the push, and I thought, okay, I still have a chance, and then Patty got hooked, and as soon as Patty was hooked, I had no push, and it wasn't meant to be. But I needed the win because I'm not going to be able to race next week due to the schedule conflict. But, short but sweet playoff run. It was nice to be up front, have a chance at the win. I still haven't won in the Icon Series, and that's probably 2nd or 3rd closest I've been to winning. So still fun, still good racing, and obviously that's just how super speedway races tend to end, is aggressive moves, and they don't always work out.
Like, man, next week you're going to be off. We're going to be headed to Darlington. But nonetheless, before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done on that 01 car?
I guess just to thank you, the people that I drafted with all night. We were taking care of each other quite a bit. I was trying to hang back because I kept expecting them to crash the way I was watching some of the people race. There was a couple of part-timers showing their unfamiliarity up front, so I was waiting for it to be a wreck, but it never happened. Overall, shout out my brother for just being in the voice chat with me, so I have someone to talk to. And overall, shout out most of the field for just running a nice, clean super speedway race. Some good pushing, good drafting, good strategy, and overall, a nice change of pace to not have just cautions after cautions here.
Look, man, congratulations on the 3rd place podium, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
That was Kyle Purcell. Next up to chat with us is Finnegan Myers of the 12 car. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. You got me?
We got you. How about that? You come in for a part-time run here at Icon. You got nothing to lose. You run up at front pretty much the whole race. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, it was just a good race. We never been the greatest super speedway qualifier, so we qualified around 15th, pretty middle of the pack, and then had some forced feedback issues tonight. Really struggled with that, so missed the start trying to fix that. Spent some time on pit road in the first stage, but once we got that mostly fixed, we drove up right to the front, and I really liked where we were the whole time. We didn't lead a lot of laps. We weren't flashy, but I feel like we ran 2nd almost the whole race. I was a really good pusher the whole night. We did a really good strategy. Big shout out to Brian and Jacob for working with us all night. Those two were really, really good all night, and they were super fun to work with.
Absolutely. I mean, you're working with them, and maybe you just said this, but you're out there kind of by yourself. Are there any teams you're kind of partnered up with to feel, a little friendship here at the super speedway race?
No, I'm not affiliated with any teams, but I know those guys. I know they're both really good drivers. And before the race started, I was like, hey, I know you two are both in the playoffs, and I've got nothing to lose here. So if I can help you guys, especially in the stages where there's nothing to gain for me, I'll do what I can, and started from there. And then we just started the end of stage 2, all of stage 3. We worked together really, really well.
Absolutely. Congratulations again on that second place finish here at Daytona. Anybody else you got to thank for tonight's performance?
Absolutely. Edmunds Motorsports had a beautiful looking car, throwback to my uncle's street stock from back in the day. So that was really cool. Wish we could have finished one spot better, but I was happy to push forward to the win. So good for Brian. Battleborn and Raised Clothing Code, Detour Sunglasses, Holy City Brewing. Yeah, one spot short, but overall good night. Haven't finished a Daytona race in quite a while, so that was fun.
Yeah, congratulations again, and we love seeing you out here when you're here, and maybe we'll see a little more of you next season or later in this one. So have a good night and a good week. We'll catch you in the next race.
Awesome, thank you. Have a good night.
Well, Shane, this driver needs no introduction here as we get to bring up our race winner, Brian Smith. Brian, how's it going? And boy, we just cannot get enough talking to you.
Yeah, guys, it's going pretty good. You know it's going good when I win a super speedway race. That was a pretty crazy one, though. Glad I got the win.
Yeah, look, man, you dropped to the back, as a strategy move, avoided calamity all night long, kept the dogs on the side of the car nice and pretty for us on the broadcast here. But take us through that last lap of what was going through your mind as you see everybody essentially start wrecking in your rearview mirror.
Well, I was talking to Jacob in Discord, and I said, hey, man, good win. As soon as he dropped in front of me, I was like, I'm going to push you to this win. And I don't know what happened, but he jumped up trying to block the run from Purcell, and sure enough, that wrecked him. And I was just sitting in the catbird seat and stayed in it, and I had Finnegan Myers on my bumper, who was doing an awesome job tonight, and who I just ironically realized we teamed up at the first stage when we both lost the draft, and we ended up finishing this thing 1-2. So crazy finish, crazy race, executed it perfectly. Pit stops, pit strategy, got super aggressive getting out to the front, and once I did, I didn't let it go.
Yeah, absolutely. Here you are, at the top of the podium. But next week, we shift gears and go to Darlington. What's going to be the strategy? And I mean, you're already locked into the next round of the playoffs. So what's going to be the strategy as we head into Darlington?
Just going to be try and keep that clean air and keep the car clean. I know Nathan Finnegan and Ryan Patty are both super fast at Darlington, and they've won races there in the past. So I think they'll probably be the guys to beat, but hey, we'll just try and keep it rolling, keep winning these races, and keep getting the Michigan Humane Society into victory lane.
Absolutely. Well, before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done here on that 78 car?
Well, Finnegan Myers at the end of that race was just lights out on the pushing. I know he was getting pretty hot temps in his car, and I was trying to give him air, but he did everything perfectly, and he's not a teammate or anything, so thanks, Finnegan, for the push. Jacob and I worked together towards the end, too. Didn't work too much with any of the other guys from Buddy Motorsports or Great Lakes Racing, but they all did a good job. It wasn't a wreck fest tonight, so great job, everybody, for keeping it clean. And yeah, tons of fun. Thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome job. Once again, Brian, congratulations on the win. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep, thanks, Alan.
Yeah, and he said it, and I'm just checking the Discord chat. People are talking about how clean of a race it was. There were really a couple of cautions there early, but otherwise we saw really hard racing, good pushing, and minimal cautions anyway. We did see some contact and some spins getting onto pit road, but other than that, a very impressive race here by the Icon Cup drivers as usual. That's going to wrap it up here for us. Take a look at our final race results. It's going to be Brian Smith, Finnegan Myers, and Kyle Purcell on the podium. Then Patrick Colby, Jacob Smith, Tanner Bethia, Jonathan Duncan, Ryan Patty, Sean Purcell, and Zachary King are your top 10. And pole sitter John McNeil is 11th. Cody Eldred, Jake Champion, Charles Van Schaik, Adam Ball, Cody Neal, Robert Bloon, Braxton DeWeese, Mike Taylor, and Nathan Finnegan round out your top 20. Then Jeff Dillon, Jacob Gladelich, Bentley Glazer, Anthony Tizio, Charlie Woods, Kevin Gunther, Mike Grinnell, Charlie Widener, Ethan Van Colley, and Evan Patinko are your top 30. Then Chris Camburn and Nathan Brzezowski are 31st, 32nd. Kyle Gilbert and Brad Delph there. I think Delph didn't actually start the race, so Kyle Gilbert was, in fact, the winner to the beer stand. Alan, any other closing thoughts here as we wrap it up at Daytona?
What an awesome race here tonight. But we're looking forward to next week. Don't forget, we're going to be off Sunday. But we'll be right back here Monday night as we bring you all the action. 220 laps from Darlington Speedway. But for now, and every day as you walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic, everybody. Good night.